Just to let you know, my notes are short, so I will be brief. Mike Rinker, I'm the Director General for Environment and Radiation Protection at the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission. And I want to start by explaining to you why I think it's really exciting for Canada to have the honor to host ICRP in 2021. Canada has a long history in nuclear. We started in the 1930s using nuclear substances, starting with mining Port Radium up in the north, which was the ore was shipped to Port Hope for extraction of radium for the manufacture of radium-luminescent devices. In 1942, Canada commenced with nuclear power research in Montreal for the development of a nuclear power plant using heavy water. In 1950s, the NRX reactor brought us into the isotope age, and for medical isotopes. And on the dark side, the NRX represented the first major nuclear power plant accident, which did provide some lessons learned, some benefits in terms of defense in depth. The NRU reactor brought us further into the isotope supply with the production of cobalt-60. And in fact, Canada was once the supplier of 60 to 70% of the world's cobalt supply. Uranium mining commenced in Canada many decades ago, but now the highest grade ores are produced in northern Saskatchewan with ore grades of around 20%. So what's next for Canada? We're in an age of refurbishment of nuclear power reactors. 10 of our reactors are going to go under refurb over the next decade. And what does that mean? It certainly means new science, the impacts of mixed dose fields on what it means to doses to the lens of the eye. Isotope production is changing. Nuclear power plants are producing cobalt, of course, and we have an application to expose molybdenum targets in Canada to have a new innovative supply. And speaking of innovation, we have an application for a small modular reactor, molten salt reactor, so certainly the first of its kind in Canada. And we have applications for new mines. So what does that mean? What's the history of nuclear in Canada mean? And if I drew the analogy of what we heard today about radiation in space, something different for us nuclear regulators, a little bit out of the box for much of us in industry. But the science and the purpose of radiation protection and what it means for protecting humans is the same. And it offered us an opportunity to look at what are the dose limits, what's the purpose, what's the dosimetry, what's the use of risk versus the use of other means. And it allows us the opportunity to think together on the same topic, but with a different way. And I think that that's really crucial for an event like today, or this week, where we have many scientists from around the world sharing our ideas. And I'm really excited to bring that to Canada in 2021. I'm here representing the CNSC, Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, but it's going to be co-hosted with the Canadian Radiological Protection Association and also, of course, with the ICRP. So we're really pleased to hope to invite you, and while we're not going to be up in space, Claire, we can bring you to the top of a mountain. Thank you very much. See you in 2021.